going to begin with 4 or 5 haikus. I'm very fond of the haiku as a form because it's minimalist. It lets you say what you want in as few words as you can. So a few haikus. Love. He asks, what is love? Love is a 4-letter word. Grapes are sour, he says. Ass. Like Don Quixote or Don Quixote, he rides an ass and thinks he's on a stallion. Sneeze. Man, sneeze like a man, he says. Sneezes are earthquakes that bring the house down. Voice. He calls up to ask, you, sir, are an activist. Means you are active. And finally, Pandava. 5 Pandava bums, screwing 7 days a week, 5 Pandava bums. This poem, Underground, is there in Riyadh's film. It's a gay bashing poem. And it's based on a true story, if you like. You belong with the, it can't be said. As in the old days, the touch of some men polluted. Today, it's yours, viruses and all. But goo has its uses. Consider the ripe harvest along the railway lines opposite Dharavi, another Bombay neighborhood, fertilized by defecating humans, and goo, strong on smell, has the power of ammunition to trigger off memories of a long-forgotten lover met in an underground urinal. The underground has its own shades. In London, it's the Metro Railroad with poems on the walls. And back in Bombay, it's the mafia world of nightly blackmailers. But tube or dark tunnel, its fault lines are anal, harking back to painful passages of seismic prose Lakshman Gaikwad read on a train journey. Underground is where you belong, while the city buzzes overhead, ghost shit on your tongue. You undress underground and find your Garden of Eden, Eden Gardens abounding in Adams and serpents. Raju, 19, office boy in Bora Bazaar, another neighborhood. Gulab, 22, waiter at Satkar. Pandu, 50, coolie at BT, that's the Victoria Terminus train station. You stand in your stall and look over the wall. One comes up, seizes you by the shirt, demands money and bottles of beer for friends outside. As the saying goes, in the company of friends, death is a nuptial feast. You want to throw goo on his face, but you give in meekly, handing over cash and valuables. The meek shan't inherit. You stand bereft, the city your head low. The next one's called Temple. Slippers and shoes are strewn outside the temple at Bengal Chemical. Give it the sterility of a computer room. Many are turned upside down. As a boy, you were told, upturned footwear brought misfortune. The temple is inhabited by Shiva of the perpetual palace. Drums beat your eardrums shapeless. The sunlight on gilt columns scintillates. You pull out your Ray-Bans to add your share of color. There are 2 separate queues to God, men on the left, women on the right. You stand in the men's and find them all around you, all over you. Paradise, famous for Scotch broth. That's the name of a restaurant in Bombay which is famous for Scotch broth. Your fingers get busy as you fancy a certain lad. Your fingers lick his fish fingers, his dick, and his buggered butt. At At one stage, the frontispiece of your body is engraved on the rear of his. Even his feet are on yours, as if the two of you were tap dancing. For movement now is both forwards and backwards. Yet he thinks it's all a part of the ritual of deities, the ceremony of multitudes. He says nothing. Silence, born of wisdom and suffering, the ill luck of upturned slippers. Two similar things happen in the other queue, lad replaced by lady. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, Holy Trinity, holy cow. The non-dualists were right, Shankaracharya and all. In a Hindu temple at Bengal Chemicals, man is merged in man. Woman is merged in woman. The world is free of sin. And I'm going to finish off with some dirty poems. They're not just dirty, but they're also filthy. And the first of these is called Enema. Constipation is an occupational hazard. The junk food you swallow weekdays at Nariman Point, the sewage water you drink, even the exhausting fumes you breathe as monkey gods fart, either induce diarrhea or its binary opposite. In the glamour rooms of your apartment, you strain so hard your belly could burst open. The neon signs advertise purgatives. Purgatives are purgatory, they almost make you believe. Your elixir is an enema, administered nightly in bed. No, not by a doctor and not with a tube. Next morning, the bowels loosen and you are redeemed by noisy ship jets. And then here is a poem called Bidet. Like a Ford convertible whose hood may be undone in the poking summer, like electricity that can be converted from direct to alternating current when proclivities change, the human thing is a Christian convert. When the ailment is constipation, the thing is an enema. Enema is the thing. When it's diarrhea, the thing is a bidet. While you struggle, as you straddle, a warm jet from bidet owned by lover or other bids you good night. You are cleaned up, you are cleansed. And finally a poem called Smegma. Ramesh was caught in the dark of the Oval. He was attempting a blowjob on a Glaxo executive picked up at Eros. The executive's driver had the ignition of the car turned on, so he bolted the moment his boss, chased by policemen, got in. But Ramesh is an unemployed garage hand. He likes the idea of spending the night in the lockup, not because he gets his food there or a roof over his head. It's a sort of indoors oval. Ramesh is a sex chef, full of dished-up mischief. He goes for the smegma in the foreskin of his lover's dicks, which he wants to spread like cheese on his toast. He thinks it might be a delectable treat. Pity Ramesh is a garage hand, but it's good that he's unemployed.